So in this video, I'm going to be going over why it is that I'm pretty much qualified to talk the stuff that I do in a lot of my videos. To really simply put it, the reason why it is I'm qualified is because I've been in many relationships with many different types of people that I wanted to get to know. Some of them had, ethnicities, right? Tall, shorter than me, plus size, petite, right? Whatever the case. And before I got to the point where I am now, where I am confident, but I'm not arrogant. Look, the reality of it is this. I went all over the world looking for it. And when I say I went all over the world, I mean, I actually tried a lot of different things before I got to the conclusion that I got to back in 2019. Truth be told, because when I first started talking to, the people who I was talking to or whatnot, I just had a lot of experiences. I would go to the mall, try to pick up some chicks with a lot of my friends, being a freshman in high school at the time, to trying to observe my surroundings, right? Learning my surroundings, learning what people do, knowing some individuals who was older than me, who's in the game, if you know what I mean, and listening to what it is that they had to say. Me being a teenager, they had to say certain things, right? Me even buying a couple of dating courses and stuff like this from dating coaches. This was back some years ago when dating courses cost me like $25, right? Learn about this person's dating courses, stuff like this, what the older generation of people told me, right, or suggested. Me going out and buying a whole bunch of clothes and putting on a new look and all this other type of stuff. Listen, what I learned about that through experiences, really trying things out, trying to be the gangster thug and all this other type of stuff, because I saw how it is that people who, a lot of the people who were rough around the edges got a lot more cooperation from some of the people who I was interested in, trying to be the player type and all this other type of stuff. There was a phase in my life where I was trying to be real smooth and player and all this other type of stuff. That didn't work out. So like I said before, I went through trial and error to get to the conclusion that I finally got to. And what I realized is all of this stuff, all of that stuff, if you really want a real relationship, people who play games are really not meant to be taken seriously, because they playing games, truth be told, because they out here really making excuses as to why it is that they can't be in a relationship, and they moving a goalpost in that way. And the truth is, the unbridled truth is that they don't want to act like they have common sense, because they really want to be in the game, because they got their own personal issues and their own trust issues. But at the same time, they want to be able to get certain bits and pieces of being in a relationship, like the intimacy and the money and things of this nature, and the short-term companionship. So they want that. And when I came to this conclusion in 2000, because I already thought about this as I was asleep, right, in 2017 one night, right? And then I actually put that thought process away. I said, I just couldn't believe it at that time. I said, how could I be the winner, right? All the people that I was interested in, how could I be the winner? And then in 2019, it bubbled up to the surface again another night when I was asleep. And it was such a powerful thought. I literally woke up on out of my sleep, and I literally spent the rest of the night thinking about and reviewing the relations, I should say the relationships, the interactions that I had with with some of these individuals, you know what I mean? And some of them that I was engaged with, stuff like that, you know what I mean? And then as I started to review it slowly, it hit me. I spent so much time as a young individual trying to be seen as this cool and all this other type of stuff. What I really need to do, right, was focus on myself and be as upstanding as I possibly could and decent, and stop worrying so much about if I bag the chick or if I don't bag the chick. Because at the end of the day, I'm going to continue to be as best as I can. I'm going to continue to step my game up. I'm going to do these things. I'm going to fix my hairline, fix my brace, you know what I'm saying? Or Invisalign, all this other type of stuff. Fix myself up. Not necessarily because other people, you know what I mean? Cologne, got myself colognes and all this other type of stuff, right? I have a whole bunch. Cologne, started dressing better. All of that, not because I'm trying to attract somebody else, because I don't have anybody right now. I'm single. But I did all of that type of stuff because I saw it as myself, as how I want to be. So I'm self-actualizing as what Virgo does. So with that being said, right, when I see people struggling and stuff like this, I don't have that problem anymore. Because like The Last Dragon, remember that when they told you, anybody who's ever seen The Last Dragon, right, with Timac, right, what did the master, who was once Timac's master, told Bruce Leroy, aka Timac? He said, there's one, and he pointed at his forehead. He said, there's one place that you have not went, meaning you traveled all over the place trying to find this proverbial master that I alluded or I implied existed, and you found that they didn't exist. So where is that master? The master is in your mind. The master is in your mind. When I learned to get over the idea that bagging a person, getting a number, okay, and having to prove my masculinity and all this other type of crap by impressing people and getting people's numbers and all this other type of stuff. Otherwise, I wouldn't be considered this. When I stopped caring about that, when I stopped caring about that, when I started looking at that like, all y'all who told me that I needed to go out and run and go to the store and go get these name brand clothes and put myself in a debt or do anything that I had to, right, in order for me to go about doing it, including taking penitentiary chances, all of y'all was lame for telling me that crap. Because all of that turned out not to be true. Because these are old individuals who do that themselves. They out here paying for it, or have paid for it at least once in their life. And I'm sure it's not just one time. So that's how it is. I know for a fact, and I'm qualified to talk about this, because nowadays in 2022, as recently as 3 weeks ago, I ain't even gonna say 3 weeks, probably actually like actually a couple of days ago, as close as a couple of days ago, because I've been doing it a lot this summer, right? This past summer, even though we in the fall, I'm still kind of doing it anyway. But walking up to the chicks that I like, right, and saying something to them. Do you know that I don't even perceive them the same way? I'm not even trying to bag them per se. I'm literally thinking of them. The way that I think about them is different. I literally think about them as friends, acquaintances, because that's what we actually are. If me as an individual start walking up to them and assuming that, like, I'm trying to holler at them and this, that, and the third, and I'm trying to get you, Guess what that does? This is why there's a lot of people fail out of relationships. This is why a lot of people fail out of getting into relationships. You know why? Because they're so scared, putting all this extra pressure on themselves, assuming that they're going to be in a relationship already and they just met the person. No, y'all are acquaintances. And as y'all get to know each other, then you need to find out if you have any kind of peaceful interaction with that person. What do you call that? You call that friendship. Sorry to say it, but it needs to be said. I'm not really sorry to say it. I'm just telling it. It needs to be said, though. Factually, that's what you are. Factually, a lot of people don't want to be in a friend zone. So how you going to be in a relationship? How you going to be in a functional relationship then if you don't? So if you don't even have a working relationship between you and the person whom you bagged, supposedly. That's not what a relationship is. Y'all are essentially having intimate moments, but y'all don't even really like each other factually. Y'all can't stand each other. If anytime you understand how things work, like I figured it out, what happens is that you realize that if you're engaging with people and you're not really worried, what's gonna happen here is that I don't feel nervous around when I talk to the people who I'm interested in, or some people who I look at and I like and all this other type of stuff, or may potentially want to get to know. They look good. I walk up to them and I say, "What up?" I this, that, a third, and whether or not I get their number, I don't even give them that my number anymore. I literally, excuse me, I don't even ask them for their number anymore. I literally volunteer to give them my number. You know why? It's not to be disrespectful. It's not to, act like I'm styling on them. It's because I have unchained myself from the ideation or the idea that I need to put on and flex and stress myself out. What I do is that I give them my number. You want to go ahead and give me your number? Excuse me. If they want to go ahead and give me their number, cool. But I don't even want them to give me their number. You know why? I'm gonna give them my number because if you hit me up, you hit me up. Right? I guess there was something interesting about me where you wanted to hit me up. If you don't, it is what it is. I'm not stressing over it, trying to force a situation. You know what I'm saying? Like trying to press a situation that if a person don't want to call you, don't. So I live like that. And people who are closest to me know. And I've been saying it in some of my videos, right? Becoming more rare now. But I've been saying it. I don't hold on to anything or anyone too tightly. It's the same reason why it is that, like, when I get, I essentially, give some of these people my numbers, and then they end up bugging out and doing all this other stuff and going off into the deep end. I just quietly bow out, exit the left of the stage, and go on with my life. And I delete their number and I leave or I continue pushing, I should say, because I'm not worried about it. I'm not worried about it. I'm not out here worried about it. I'm really not, and some people end up getting bothered, but at the same time, this mentality has saved me a whole lot of stress, and I've become generally and genuinely much happier compared to how I used to be. Because the trick is that people who are giving you advice, it's BS advice. Intentionally, it's BS advice that they're giving you. They're giving you BS advice to get you to feel some sort of insecurity or to take it as a personal challenge for you to get yourself caught up in the game, because they're caught up in the game because they out here tricking. So that's why it is I'm qualified, because I am who I am. I've been through all of that stuff that these people talking about on YouTube, dating and all that other type of crap. And I can tell that a lot of them don't know what it is that they talking about factually. That's why.